everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 596. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Mako-chan.
And Ari is off tonight. He's working, and Barry will be joining us momentarily. They are wrapping up their stream, and as soon as we get the go-ahead in our staff chat here, they will let us know. Let me see if I can bring her in right now. Oh, no, she's in. She's in and muted. So, by all means, Barry, start talking.
Hi guys! Hello! Yes. My chat decided that they wanted to be little chaos nightmares today, so it took me a little bit longer, but that's okay. I love them to death. Yeah, and we are here.
All right, I am currently flipping everything over so that everything will work the way it should. Are you a static image or are you in full virtual mode?
I'm PNG today.
Okay, all right. Let me see if I can put this together, because I always set this up a few minutes prior, but I wasn't feeling too well today, so I was like, I've been going toe to toe with the with Les Bowls.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you. I just think it's just a regular cold or something like that, so I'm not too worried. So
Yeah.
put that over to here. There we go. Full succubi mode.
There you go.
Oh, so you are a little bit animated. Even better. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just thought when you said static mode, I figured it was just a solid image for the whole show. So
Oh
know.
no.
Okay.
It'll react when I talk. I mean, this is basically when we do collaborations, it just takes less I guess like less energy for the other computers for like other people.
Right.
And so it just allows me to be a little bit more low key.
Okay. And it looks like for some reason the rundown isn't set properly, so that's also my bad. So let me go ahead and fix that. Now while we'll go ahead and do that, reset the top. Perfect. There we go. So now that we kind of got some semblance of quote unquote normality, let's get on with the show tonight.
Let's go.
So anywho, how is everybody doing tonight?
All right, I guess.
I can kind of feel that. Besides the tickle in the back of my throat, I'm all right. Besides, I'm kind of sweating up a storm here. So, and those of you who are watching on the stream, I am opening up one of the curtains in my studio so that some fresh air can come in. Now that we got that out the way. So, I want to let you all know we are live tonight, week of July 11th, 2023, right here on Twitch TV. And also, for those of you who don't know, happy 7-Eleven Day.
Yay.
If it came with hot pork buns and temperatured coffee, canned coffee, I would forgive you. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying it's happy 7-Eleven Day. Free small Slurpees all around.
Oh, wait, what? That was today, too?
Yeah. I remember seeing an image of some kid. He actually... Now, what they used to do was they would allow you to come in with a container and fill it up. Some kid showed up with a 1 gallon milk jug. Now, for those of you who don't know, not just milk comes in those large 1 gallon containers. You can get actual water, juice, and other things in there. So kid shows up with that full of Slurpee. I would probably go into sugar shock. Couldn't do that. So we're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can always find us here at Twitch TV /Anime Jam Session. We're also part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And they're also here on Twitch at twitch.tv/VOG Network. And come hang out with us in our Discord at vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel. So come through, hang out, and have a good time. Now that we got that out the way, we're going to move things right along and make sure everything doesn't fall apart. We're going to go into how was your week? How was your day? Mako.
So week not bad. We finally got the landscaper in, so everything outside now is looking good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy with it. Other than that, I am basically dealing with my own sickness. I went home yesterday early. I didn't go into work today.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, so fun times. Other than that, I've just been, playing a lot of video games. I have been playing a lot of Final Fantasy X. I'm getting a new controller in on Thursday, and I'll be able to play some more Final Fantasy VII.
Now you're playing 7 on the Switch, right?
Yes.
So you're getting a new Pro controller for the Switch.
Yes.
Or did you get like one of the officials, or did you get one of those knockoff ones that does the same thing?
One of the knockoff ones. I think it cost me like $17.
17?
17.
Well, I will say this. If it does amiibo support and power on, that's $17 well spent, because I think I paid $30 for mine, but I think it was like a year and a half ago.
I don't think it has amiibo support. I think it's just a very basic controller. But I'll see when it comes in. That's all I needed. Unfortunately, both sets of my controllers now are dealing with drifting issues.
Mm-hmm. I mean, here's the thing. You can either spend $10 and get the part and fix it, or just spend a few dollars more and just get a replacement controller. I mean, mine did drifting and it was still under warranty. They sent me a brand new one. I haven't really touched it since, and I think I finally got around to tossing the old one because I'm like, nah, I'm good. So.
Yeah, well, one isn't horribly bad, but the one that now matches my Switch that you put the new casing on, that one is just barely usable.
You mean the Joy-Con or the controller itself?
Joy-Con.
Oh.
Yeah. So both of my left Joy-Cons have directional drifting issues. And the original controller that I got to go with my Switch also has drifting issues. Thus, me getting a new controller.
Bungle!
Yeah. Yeah, fun times. And I mean, everything was fine. It's just, my guess is, because I travel with everything so much and everything's being pushed and prodded and all of that, it wears down a lot quicker than if I had just had it sitting there in the dock.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I got a case for mine. But now, Linus Media Group, Linus Tech Tips, they actually have what's called stick locks. It's like these heavy-duty rubber protectors that goes onto the controllers, and it makes sure that they don't move when you travel. So,
I'll
have to link it to you. I mean, it makes it easier for carrying, because the case for controllers are huge, because number one, you expect them to be big for the controller itself. Plus, there's a spot for the USB cable as well. So, I mean, personally, I don't need it, but you know.
But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Barry, how was your week? How was your day? How was your month? Did we lose her?
Well,
there we go.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I was just thinking for a second.
I knew I smelled wood burning.
Are you saying that that was my brain functioning? No, I'm kidding.
Maybe.
Just a little wooden flame, just like trying to burn, but not like a Charmander, right? They got to keep their tail out of the rain. Anyway,
Whoosh.
yeah, literally. It's been a time. I'm currently working on a lot of learning and a lot of stuff, teaching myself many things. So it's been a lot of work. And just trying to learn a lot of technology things and other stuff. So, and some new systems. So it's been a lot of back end, like just back end, like learning. Like
Right,
I
right.
don't know. There's been a lot of I don't know. There's been a lot of advances in a lot of the stuff that I use for transmitting to the mortal realm. And so it's been a lot of learning and getting to know those communities and like starting to get more comfortable in it. And so that in itself is a lot of work, but also like I've been also experiencing some different and new games that I don't think I would have ever played before. So I've been kind
Yeah.
of doing that as well. Um, and recently I've been playing a lot of 7 Days to Die and zombie games, which is something that I never thought I'd really delve into.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like FPS kind of stuff. I
Are
don't know.
you a Debbie Delight player now?
A what?
Debbie Delight player.
What is that?
DBD, Dead by Daylight.
Oh no, not yet, not
Oh.
yet. But I have a bunch of friends who are.
Oh
I
boy.
have the game. I have the game, but I just have not become a super sweaty DVD player.
Oh.
So. Yeah, you know me, Chad Gamer, looking to smurf in some lobbies. Let me go. I'm kidding. But I have a lot of friends who play. I honestly, I think I've played it twice. So.
Yeah, there are a lot of issues with DBD right now.
Oh, really?
So I've heard.
Okay, well, I'll have to talk to my friends who play it a lot more. Like, there's a community that I'm in that's specifically for gamers who just literally, we played an MMO together, and then they still wanted to keep in contact, so they're like, come in here, play DBD with us. So I was like, okay, I got the game, I want to play, and I only want to play with people I know, because I do know that, like, gaming culture is toxic. I was actually talking about that on my stream today, about how, like, I like games where it's cozy, and I'm going to play the way I want to. And if there are people that want to be out there and yell at their computer and yell at their teammates and have a lot of fun that way and curse, and that's their way that they get their rage out or their feelings out, that's cool. But I'm just going to be over here fishing and planting stuff and petting my cat named Cheese. Like, that's all I want to do with my day. But if you want to pop off, you pop off here.
It's not even an audio thing. There are some really crappy people playing the the bad guys in there, and they just keep camping the people that they hook, so they can't.
Oh, they're face campers. Yeah, that's kind of like spawn camping to me. That's an unspoken thing. Like, it might be okay for a little bit, just because you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna go back to their teammate, obviously. But like when you're doing it so many times in a row, that's bullying. I'm sorry. Like if you do it too long or you do it too many times in a row, that's just straight up like that's camping, and that's spawn camping like energy. That's small PP energy. Coming from your mama berry.
Fortunately, there are quite a few that are doing it now, and I know some people that have actually stopped streaming.
Oh, I'm so that really sucks.
Because when they're trying to stream and all they keep doing is being hooked and being killed.
Yeah, hooked and camped. Yeah, that's not fun for them. That's not fun for their people in their chat.
Here's the thing. I think that is fair game, provided you're playing with a small group of friends, and this is already known. Yeah, like for example, years ago, it used to be me, my old roommate Anthony, and his two older brothers George and Peter. We would do multiplayer Conker's Bad Fur Day for hours upon hours, and there is a level called the Bunker. Me and George will go running for the sniper rifles, okay? And we would camp out on the furthest ends of the level and just sit there. But the difference is, we didn't go after his two other brothers. We didn't do that. We kind of had a house rule. You can only snipe the other if somebody else has a sniper rifle, more or less. So it was always us. So So we would just sit there in the nest, snipe at each other, talking to each other like it's a normal thing. If you remember that old Warner Brothers cartoon with Sylvester and the dog, you know how I forget the dog's name, but you know how they would like clock in and just say, "How's it going?" And then they would just like fight each other for like 8 hours, and then clock out, and be like, "See you tomorrow, Frank. See you, Sylvester." That was us. That's how we always did it. Now,
Yeah, I think that's Ralph.
Ralph, yeah. Yeah, Ralph. That was his name. Yep, Ralph. Yeah. It was.
Well, and I think that's a big part of
Yeah.
streaming. One is like make sure your community is a supportive community that
Mhm.
actually like cares about you and isn't like a trolley community that
Right.
just wants to see your downfall. And two, like if you're gonna do big MMO games, like, and this is a problem because I had a hate raid that actually got me banned off Twitch, and it wasn't even my fault. It was
Yikes.
literally that there were a bunch of people that came in and were just naughty and nasty and just not very fun and not very supportive. And they came in and like we were just doing Jackbox, right? You think that
Mhm.
that'd be super chill, like Jackbox is just all fun. Apparently not. So you gotta be careful out there, guys. Because there
I
are some people that just want to ruin your day,
it's
and like there's
mhm.
no other way of saying it.
Like, well, I'll say this real quick, then we'll just move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Like, I think it was a couple of years ago on OLR. I think there was a hate raid or something. I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, the output audio got jacked, and there was a lot of slurs going on, and all they could.
Oh, what the heck?
I'm not sure how that, but maybe I think they had to wait about a couple of minutes before they were able to continue on. I'm not sure how that happened, but I heard it. I was just like, "What the heck?" You know?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild. That's
Yeah.
wild. I've never heard of audio getting hacked. It was just that I was really silly and I forgot to put up like the Jackbox like shielded mode or whatever because
Right.
I didn't realize that there was that API or like that connection. And so like I finally did it and like I mean it will like it'll be something I do in the future for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you're not doing that and you're not setting up your stream in a way where you're only playing with your friends or something,
Right.
there's a big chance that you're gonna get a lot of people who just want to troll you.
But
And that's
but on the same token, a lot of us are small channels. We don't expect to put on
Yeah.
that protection because nobody's gonna mess with us. And the reality is, everybody's a target, no matter how big or small you are.
Yep. No matter how big, how small, how long you've been doing this job, I will tell you, every day you turn on that button to stream, there's always going to be people that really want to support you and love you and tell you that you're doing a great job. And then there's going to be those people that just want to ruin your day because that's their fun.
Yep.
Misery loves company, apparently. So anyway, but my it's been a pretty good week. That's I and month. It's been all right. Lots of learning.
Mhm.
Brain go burr.
All right, hey, Mako. Before I go into my weekend day, I just got an email notification from Honey, and one of the controllers I actually have like on my list is a Switch controller on sale for $22.
Huh.
It does. It also has RGB colors and it does the light everything. So I'm like, huh, interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've been kind of looking at getting a newer controller because I think my left stick is a little bit too loose than it should be, which is probably why I keep getting my ass handed to me by Raven Beak and Metroid Dread, which is why I have yet to finish the damn game, and I'm like, been spending like almost a year pondering, should I redo this game in rookie mode just to beat it? Well, I might end up doing that. We'll see.
I got is a wired controller.
Say what?
So I got a wired controller.
You know what? I actually have a wired one, but it's not. I've noticed like most of the wired Switch controllers do not have vibration.
No, this one definitely doesn't.
So,
But the games I tend to play that I would want a controller for don't have vibration anyway.
mm-hmm.
So I'm just looking to have something a little bit more comfortable when I play RPGs.
Fair. So, my weekend day was very chill. You know, at work we have Summer Friday, so I was out of work early. But also last week, you know, we were off because we all had different plans, and I'm like, you know, let's just enjoy that. So, I went to South Carolina for 4 days and relaxed and had a good time. Interestingly enough, during the time I was there, I did not have any coffee except for when I was at the airport. But I was able to replace that caffeine with a 6-pack of cheer wine. which I actually,
Nice.
which I thought about bringing a bottle back, but then I realized because I couldn't check my luggage. I mean, in the overhead, I had to check it. I couldn't. I decided not to because it might explode in my bag, and I'm just not trying to deal with that.
Yeah, you don't really have to worry about that anyway because my mother is driving to Florida next week.
Ooh, so she's bringing back a few cases, huh?
Yeah, I gotta talk to her and tell her how much I need her to bring me home.
And let me know so I can throw some money towards that.
Yep. I'm basically wherever she goes to stop, I'm just gonna ask her what the sale price is.
Look, as long
'Cause,
as if she hits a Food Lion, you're good.
yeah, I know she'll hit something
Mhm.
between here and there, and especially since she's gonna come back anyway. So, like, she has said that she's specifically stopping. It's just a matter of, how much the cases are gonna be. Because if it's like the picture you posted that it was 3 cases for $10, then she can bring me 9 cases.
Oh man! And
Well,
here, and here I
I
am at your house showing up with a big old suitcase.
well, that's just it. You wanted some, Ari wanted some. So by the time, I'm not divvying up my 3 cases to you two schmucks.
Hey,
I want
bungle!
my own shit. So if that's the case, then I'll grab $10 from you and $10 from him, and you get your own 3 damn cases.
Or what we should do, maybe one day, road trip to Barry's interplanetary domain and see if one of the local supermarkets by them has it.
You can get that too.
So, my time in South Carolina.
Wait, what was this again? What are you guys trying to source exactly?
We're,
I
we're,
was
we're,
I was listening to the adventure,
we
but
were. I suggested that we should drive to the closest portal to your domain to see if the
No, but
stores
what are we sourcing? What
cheer
someone
wine.
was like cheer wine. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, there's tons of cheer wine here. I don't it's like literally like I think I know that it's pretty popular because I know that I think I remember Kroger's selling it, but I know that like Food Lion sells it, and I know that there's a bunch of places that sell it. For sure, for sure, for sure.
Gotcha. All right. So my trip in South Carolina, it was fun. I had a good time. My ankles kind of got bitten up because I was walking through the grass in my sandals. Because where I was, it really wasn't no sidewalks. So, one of my friends, Morgan, who came to pick me up and drop me off at the airport, she asked me, um, to bring her a thing of knishes instead of paying for gas and tolls and all that. And I'm just sitting there going, I don't have knishes down there. And then we have this other group chat, and I asked the people in there if they can get knishes out there, and they're like, "No, what is that?" And I didn't realize knishes are a local New York tri-state thing. So,
Well, you
moral.
have to realize, and the correct pronunciation is niche.
Okay, all right. Thank you, thank you.
Um, but you have to realize that that is more in line of a Jewish type food.
Mm.
So you would have it in the areas where there are a high population of Jewish people, which the tri-state area is one of those places.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I haven't had a good one in forever.
I just picked up like a 6-pack from the local shop, right?
Yeah, I mean they're good. That's the last time that I had it was a ShopRite one, but I kind of want to make homemade.
Boy. So I did that. I enjoyed some barbecue while I'm down there. Ribs were no joke, but
Of course not.
And my only issue was getting back because I was supposed to come back Sunday because I had work on Monday. But because of the weather and me still fighting United, I'm going to have to probably call them tomorrow. I didn't leave South Carolina until like Monday morning at like 8:30 a.m. Landed in Newark and went straight to work. So, and I'm like, yeah, I could
Wait,
have.
you came in yesterday and went just directly to work.
Yes. See, you have to understand. There was only two techs in the New York office, and my manager was out that day. If there was three like it used to be, I would have put in PTO and I would have taken Monday off just to recoup, but I didn't. But it was, you gotta understand, the office was closed, so things weren't as chaotic. So I was able to get some type of time, so it wasn't so bad. So
Mm.
overall, that was a good time. So you know. Let's see here in our chat room here. Sia DeBerry, lets us know that the dog's name is Ralph. And if you remember the Warner Brothers cartoon where there was a the dog with the kitten, that was Mark Anthony, and the kitten's name was Pussyfoot. And it tells us that you can get niches in Florida at a place called 2J's Delis. He goes, but they're like niches wrapped in a puff pastry, which is so weird. That's what you call fancy niches. Oh man! All right, let's get into our next topic. Here. All right, no, that's the wrong button. There we go. Okay. All right, we're gonna get to some. Move it up one more. Get into some housekeeping news here. Don't forget, episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Anime Jam Session. Click on playlists and then podcast VODs. Episodes go up Thursday at 12 noon. If they go up a little bit earlier, I got time. If it's not up by then, something happened, it'll be up immediately afterwards. And we'll be kicking off the quote-unquote second half of our Con 2023 Con tour at ShikariCon, August 19th to the 20th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Come through, hang out, good times.
And I will be playing Pokemon all weekend.
Of course you are.
Well, it's Pokemon Fest, and since nobody I know is going to be in New York because it's actually taking place in New York, then I might as well just play it at the convention.
Okay, fair. And now we're going to get to the part of the show that y'all really enjoy, Geek Roundtable. This is where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our week. So what do you have there, Mako? I really like that.
Yeah, so this is Lilith. For those that follow the Beelzebub comic, Lilith is one of the characters. I have previously shown off Mr. Satan.
Oh, yes, yes.
So that did so well that the creator on crap, what was it again?
I don't remember. Looking it up. I'm going to assume so.
Yes.
All right, so did you figure out who it is, or?
No, I can't pull it up. It's
Womp
not.
womp.
Yeah, but basically, it's make it or market or something to that effect.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, so the creator is doing his plushies through there, which is all sorts of awesome. So I can, pick them up when they get put through. It's basically the whole thing. It's Makeship. There you go.
Okay.
So Makeship is basically like a Kickstarter, but specifically for plushies. You have to guarantee that you are going to sell a certain amount of plushies before they will even talk to you about plushies, though.
Makes sense.
I think the minimum is like 300.
Okay.
So a lot of comic creators, a lot of streamers will go through these custom plushie companies and produce plushies of their characters or, various things like that. I actually just backed another one. surprisingly, the game Obey Me
Yeah.
that has all of the demons, and it's kind of like a rhythm dating kind of sim. They're going through Makeshift to produce plushies. So I had to get my Satan boy.
Hmm.
So I will be watching that to see if any of the other characters drop. And I'm very happy because yay plushies. I'm
Sounds
also
good.
very surprised that they're going through Makeshift for something like that, considering not only is it a game, but it's also an anime. So I'm surprised that Japan isn't jumping on the bandwagon for merch for this and are going through something like that to make the plushies.
Hmm.
It is, being officially done. It has official, stamps and everything on it. So, that's the reason why I know it's an official item, but just seems like a weird place to, do something like that. But yeah, so, I'm hoping that they will go ahead with more of the characters because I would love the rest of the characters. But I am very happy with my Lilith.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So as I've said, I've been in like a backlog. Oh wait, I didn't mean to jump turns like that. Barry, what's up with your geek roundtable? Sorry about that.
No, no, you're totally fine. I think I kind of covered mine early.
Okay.
I kind of covered mine earlier, so yeah, it pretty much is just kind of working through a lot of back
Hmm.
end stuff, learning more technology. I mean, I think a
Okay.
lot of my roundtable and my week ends
It
up
it
being
just
really geeky.
blurs. You basically blur
So
the
yeah, they
line.
just kind of blend together. Well, because like I work and I play in a lot of the same fields. So in general though, it's been pretty fun. I didn't realize how much fun I was gonna have. I enjoy things like Rust and I like enjoy world building games, but actually 7 Days to Die is actually really pretty for a zombie game. If you haven't had a chance to play it, I believe it's on summer sale on Steam for like $6. So like considering the quality of game, the gameplay,
Hmm.
and like in general, I think it's really glorious. I've I've died a lot, but I've still had a ton of fun. So
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. All right. So, as I have mentioned on this show many times, I am on a backlog of merch that I have purchased. Like, I have left stuff at Mako-chan's house that I have bought. I have gotten orders from Otaku Mode that just happened to show up right behind each other. Like, I got a package yesterday. I have a package coming tomorrow. And if I'm not mistaken, I ordered them at two separate times. It's just that because of the pandemic, now we're in the endemic, shipping times have changed. The next thing you know, everything shows up all at once. What showed up yesterday was this figurine of Ochako, Break Time Collection My Hero Academia Uravity. It's basically her just kind of sitting on her side legs, kind of crossed, and kind of staring out.
That's
She
cute.
is one of my favorite male characters. Momo's a favorite. Toga's a favorite. So, and unlike some people I know who will pick up a figurine of every single of all of their favorite characters in different poses, I actually look and see if I really want it. Then again, that does explain why I have a lot of Rem figurines. You know, because when it comes to ReZero, she's best girl. But let's get into the news. We have a lot of news to cover, so we're going to summarize a lot of this to the best of our abilities. And yes, there is a good possibility we will be going late. And if that's the case, Mako will drop off and be like, "Screw you guys, I'm going to bed."
Yeah, because, I do have to at least attempt to go into work tomorrow.
Yeah, and
ooh, we love an attempt.
yeah, and I have to go in an extra half hour earlier because I kind of have a rule of if I have a 9 a.m. deployment, I try to go in at least a half hour early The company I work for bought another company, so they're bringing in all their employees and setting them up at 9. So I want to be in at 8:30. So you know.
Oh yeah.
And now we're gonna get into the news that originally almost broke the internet the first time it happened.
Whoa.
New Panty and Stocking. Because we have been screaming for over 10 years, we want a season 2, especially how it ended.
Mm-hmm.
So, at AX, Anime Expo, Studio Trigger officially showed off a video trailer for New Panty and Stocking. So they're calling it New Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt. Most of the footage itself was from the previous anime, so you can kind of get a general idea of what's going on. But what happened was Trigger also confirmed the rights to the series went from Gainax to them. Because remember, if I remember originally, Gainax did Panty and Stocking along with other titles, and a few people left Gainax to form Studio Trigger, and I believe some of the people that worked on Panty and Stocking are now at Trigger. So that, and if that's the case, that does make sense. So now Shigeto Koyama will return to work on the show as a designer. Trigger also noted that Sushio wants to work as a key animator on the show, but that has not been confirmed. Trigger staff stressed at the panel there may be stories in the new show that will be difficult to pull off today, but they plan to do it anyway. So, for example, if you watch the original, you see how lewd and outlandish the show is, and it got 10 times as crude in the dub because they were given their blessing to do so. So, some of what you saw may not pass for today's standards because times have changed. Me personally, I think that, you know, you got two women that are being lewd and crude. One's a slut and one's a whore for candy. I still think you can pull it off if you follow the whole double standard technique, and we all know what I'm talking about with that. So we'll just leave it at that.
I think what everybody just needs to understand about Panty and Stocking and Garter Belt is that as much as they are angels and a reverend, um, they kind of represent a lot of the seven deadly sins as well.
Yep.
Gluttony and lust and all of that wonderful crap. So taking them seriously and not, not having that part of it kind of takes away from it.
Yeah.
Japan won't go that far into it, which is probably why they gave permission for the dub to be enhanced as much as it was.
Yes.
Because, Japan is very strict with certain things, and even their mature stuff is very strict with certain things. I mean, you're talking about an entire country that still puts bars on their porn. So yeah, it does not surprise me that they would say, yeah, if you want to make it raunchier, go ahead.
I also think that a lot of people, I don't know if maybe that because it's anime, even though in America, in the States, we have things like Adult Swim, we have things like Robot Chicken, we have things like that are shows that are cartoons definitely for adults.
Yeah.
Like they are not in any way, shape, or form advertised for children. That there's still this weird stigma for anything that's cutesy like this, like in the style of animation, maybe not in the actual character building. I mean, we have shows like Hell of a Boss that are on YouTube.
Yeah, but Barry, that's YouTube. I mean, we got to remember there's a difference between it being on internet as opposed to
no, I know that. I'm not saying that like this is
okay.
It has to be held to a standard that's on YouTube. But I'm saying as an example, like in Western media, we have so many cartoons that are adult oriented. The fact that if there's an uproar about something like this, even though is it mostly the religious aspect of it, the fact that they're angels and he's a reverend, or is it mostly that they're a hyper caricature of this idea of lewdness
I
in the dynamic juxtaposition with like holiness?
I think it's a combination of column A and column B because remember they were
Okay.
inspired by Powerpuff Girls and that style of
Yeah.
animation.
Like Puffy Yumi, Powerpuff
Yes.
Girls, like that's the kind of stuff I see in it, and like the old magical girl tropes, which
Yes.
everybody always has this idealism of like them being this ultimately pure situation, and then you have the dynamic of like the magical girl reincarnation project, Madoka, and those situations.
Yeah, but the
Um
but the thing is, those weren't on television.
so this is going to be released for TV.
No, no, the closest to TV is watching it on your TV through a streaming channel.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah,
say, I mean, because if it's not being released on TV anyway, even if it is released on TV, I mean, we had Robot Chicken and stuff like
true,
that. Like, I
true.
don't know. I
But here's something positive. I've also heard through the grapevine with the reboot of Yorosei Yatsura similar antics. Because remember, Ataru Moriboshi is a shameless perv. And I have watched seasons 1 and 2 or cores 1 and 2. I don't feel like they toned him down per se, but it was still enjoyable. He is just as perverted, but I think it's more like his smooth talking as opposed to him being grabby with his hands. You know? I can see them with new Panty and Stocking. They'll be, I, I think they might tone it down just a scotch to see how it is. You know.
Yeah,
But
I think that
I tell you what,
yeah.
most likely this won't be on Adult Swim. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, no. It's definitely more raunchy than Adult Swim, but
Mm-hmm.
like I think it's definitely a thing where a lot of Western culture, we do a lot of stuff and then we try to hold things to a standard, but then we uplift other things for doing the exact same thing. And if
Right.
we're going to hold something to one standard, it's like I think what you were saying about the double standard situation, not only with like the treatment of genders, but also like the treatment of animation and like
Mm-hmm.
shows.
Yeah. So to finish up, Trigger staff said they have so many ideas that they could do 10 seasons and a film that could be about the Battle of Hoover Dam, referencing the event from the video game Fallout New Vegas, with season 6 being portrayed in picture books and season 8 in figurines. The staff stressed that the studio could do whatever it wants on the show. Remember, the original 13 episodes aired in 2010. It was on home video in 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2019. I think I have like the Blu-ray release because my original DVD box set is autographed by the crew at Trigger, and I believe Monica Rial's autograph is on there. I just need Jamie Markey's autograph on there too. Hiroki Imashi directed the anime at Gainax. Geek Fleek was in charge of the series composition, and the music featured songs from Teddy Lloyd, Booty Bronx, Taku Takahashi, and more. Etsuki Nishigori was in charge of the character design. So hopefully we'll hear more about this show as time goes on.
Mhm.
Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, this one's right up Mako. It's from Mako. We mentioned this before about a hotel strike that could affect the convention. Well, you tell them.
Yeah, so unfortunately, the uh, hotels did go on strike. So handouts were given to Anime Expo con goers at the event on Saturday regarding a possible hotel workers strike. Stated that the hotel workers will go on strike at any moment and asked con goers to not cross picket lines at hotels. CNN reported on Friday that the employees would start striking early on Saturday. One of the
Mm-hmm.
hotels included in the strike is the JW Marriott Los Angeles, LA Live, where some panels are being held during Anime Expo weekend. One strike worker told the company they did not know when the workers would be going on strike, but stated they expected to do so during the convention. That person added the union is asking congoers not to attend any panels at that particular Marriott during the event. That the hotel is the strikers' biggest focus. So, Southern California's largest hospitality union did reach a deal on Wednesday with the largest hotel employer, Westin. That hotel will not be affected in the strike. The union had announced on its website on June 9th that its members have voted to authorize the strike at dozens of hotels during July 4th weekend. And then there is an update basically saying that the union confirmed Sunday morning that its workers are on strike at hotels in downtown Los Angeles. So that does coincide with a big portion of Anime Expo. So yeah, they were asking congoers not to cross picket lines, which, I'm all for, but you've got a lot of these kids that paid a lot of money to go. They're not going to give two shits about people standing out front with picket signs.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit later when we discuss autographs, because I have a first person's experience. And according to their Twitter account, as of yesterday, thousands more people joined the picket line. So it's basically the hotel industry's biggest strike in history.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. You always hear about hotels that, that they're not doing what they should for the workers.
Right.
But at the same time, if you can go into a hotel and deal with, other things that we will be talking about in the show, like bedbugs, or needing to make sure that, your sheets were actually changed. Or
Ew.
Yeah, or that they didn't wipe down everything in your bathroom, including the cups that are sometimes in there with the same cleaning cloth cleaned your toilet with. You hear all of those negative things and think, well, why do these people need more money if they're not doing their job? And the thing is, they're not doing their job because they're overworked. They have to so many freaking hotel rooms to clean that they don't have time. Like, I think they have something like 30 or 45 seconds per room when it's just straightening up. And I think they have like 2 minutes to do a full clean.
Now,
leaves.
Now, here's something.
That's ridiculous.
Now, here's something. Again, I see both sides of this. Like, for them, they would rather have one person do a 12-hour shift cleaning hotel rooms instead of having two people splitting a 12-hour shift into an 8-hour shift where they overlap each other. To me, that makes the most amount of sense. This is something that you will see in retail. Now, if you also notice when you go grocery shopping, you only see 1, 2, 3, 4 people checking out, and there are like 15 spots, and the lines are going long. They're not going to spend money to put somebody on just for 10, 15 minutes and go back. It's sort of like when you go Black Friday shopping and the lines are long and the systems are slow, because the stress on the systems is only going to be from like 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then it's going to be smooth sailing along. To me, they should be cross-training people so they can do this one job. And if it's going to be a slow day, they can be on something else or part-time. Because honestly, remember, about 2/3 of the hotels in the Baltimore Inner Harbor are there due to Otakon when it was there. Because that weekend alone, each of those hotels were pulling at least close to at least 100,000 to $500,000 per, because that convention was bringing anywhere between $2 to $3 million in over a 4 days period. So, and I do understand, well, you have these people to do the jobs, But what do you do when there's nothing to do? So you make one person do all this, and that's what it comes down to, because you can't have somebody there not doing anything while collecting a paycheck. Then that's what you do. Then common sense will dictate part-time hours. But then that can be an issue because if you're part-time, 1 week could be 14 hours, 1 week could be 20, you know? But the money that comes in from one of these events, it can be done. You can have more than enough people in. Again, like I said, at my job, I really feel that things should be better if we had 3 techs in the building. That way I could have taken Monday off and it wouldn't be as stressful. Given the situation, I could have taken Monday off. Could have. But there'd only be one person in the building and the service desk will be inundated with support, you know, because we have people helping out in the UK, Atlanta, Nashville, LA. We have, but it's just be a little bit more stressful. So, long story short, the money is there. It can be done. I just don't like it when unions get so powerful, they act like they don't have to do shit. Like the MTA or the Postal Service. But, you know. And as Bonzable6 here says about cross-training, the site also does not want to lose staff after they were cross-trained. Well, that's the risk that they take. I mean, if you were, let's take retail, for example. If you're trained to be a cashier, then you're cross-trained to do customer service, you might like that more and want to stay there if there is ample hours. Then they have to bring somebody else in to cover for cash. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Anybody else want to throw their 2 cents in? Please.
No, I
Okay.
between I think between us we've covered it.
Yep. All right. And Barry's going to tell us about some nefarious things that Mako kind of brought up previously regarding Anime Expo.
Yeah, so it hasn't looked like it's been doing pretty great. So yeah, it's not a convention that I think I will probably be going to next year, but there was a situation with credit cards being stolen. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about that. Friend just oh wait, nope. Let me see.
Yeah, there's no
Make sure you double check. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
There's no
I
article.
was just trying to figure out all the quotes and stuff
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's not really a story; it's more
Right.
so a Facebook post.
See, one thing about some stuff we're talking about AX, you're not going to see this as actual articles. We're talking about things that actually happened to people at the con. And given the sheer number of people have said this has happened and multiple people verifying it, we want to bring this to your attention.
Yeah, yeah, because this is the kind of important stuff. Like I've had my identity stolen at a con before, so like everybody wants to be the mistress and master of dreams and nightmares. So it's a very prestigious nature, and everything. But I definitely understand. This is a pain. Um, it's yeah, it's a problem that can happen at conventions because a lot of sellers don't have their things secured over the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And a lot of payment systems don't either. And in this case, it was actually make sure you double check any credit cards you use during AX. And make sure you have them with fraud protection or insurance because a credit card detail just got grabbed around the AX time and someone blew $1,800. Now that is $1,800. But basically, it's a situation where I guess their identity was, or their cards were actually taken. They were grabbed by somebody. And a lot of people are recommending that they just get a wallet with RFID or have a specific account card or things of that nature. Honestly, when it comes to having cash on you at con, um, like I usually have dual wallets. I usually also have, if I'm worried about my card getting stolen, or having a card, or even just budgeting, honestly, it's really smart to have a budget when you go to a convention so you don't overspend. You can always just buy yourself a gift card, and then that way, if that gets stolen or taken off of you, or you lose it, or the number gets stolen, then you're only out what that gift card is, and you're not like having to recover your whole credit card and everything like that, and just use your credit card for important things like hotels, maybe food, and at general like concrete establishments, right? Because with a lot of artists and things like that, for the most part, it's good to buy things in person there. But if it's a big purchase like a painting, or anything that's over $1,800 to $1,000, I would recommend that you maybe just have them ship it from their studio to you, instead of having to deal with it at the convention and travel with it in your car and all that other stuff, just for secure purposes. Go ahead.
Also, here's one thing you can do. If you've already booked your room and so forth, you can pay in advance on your card. You contact the hotel. They will send you a form that you'll either have to do through email or fax. You send them copies of the card, and that's it. They can handle that. RFID wallets are great. And if you want to know what RFID is, I forget what it stands for, but it's like this. You ever tap your debit or credit card and the purchase goes through? That's RFID. Also, another thing, when you're going to the convention, find out what local banks are in the area. There are some banks like Chase that's nationwide. Wells Fargo is getting there. So in the event something does happen, you could go to a local branch and you can take care of the paperwork. And in most cases, like the bank that I'm with, they will issue you a brand new card right there on the spot. And just most important thing, just be careful. It may not happen to you, but it may happen to somebody else that you know. I actually knew somebody whose credit cards got jacked twice. I was just like, Jesus. Now, the next issue Barry's going to discuss, this actually happened to me at Capticon one year.
God, I hate it. I hate all of it. Can we just cancel this year? Can we just burn everything?
By the way, just so y'all know, Anime Expo is not an anime convention. I'm going to stress that. It is not an anime convention. It is an industry trade show.
Mm-hmm.
Because their board is comprised of people within the industry. AX, like SDCC, NY Comic, they're there to promote the industry as a whole, as opposed to like Otakon, Katsukon, and Denkai-Con. If you notice, those types of cons still promote the industry, but it's more fan fun related, whereas the other ones is industry first, fans second. So
commercialized. They are much more commercialized because, and that's a big thing too, is that industry commercialized cons tend to be paid for out of the pocket of a lot of the companies that they are promoting, whereas fan-run conventions tend to be run purely on the funds that are made from year to year from the event itself.
Yep.
And even if it has memberships or things like that where memberships are supporting it, a lot of that is just the structure of the actual organization, so that members that attend the convention are actually part of the board and the politics and can actually make judgments and vote in the event, as opposed to just being a presentation of like the newfangled media that's being presented by, Sony FX or whatever.
Right.
So, and they also have easier access on the West Coast to a lot of industry in Japan and other nations like that, because it's cheaper airfare or cheaper shipping, and it's just in general easier access.
And one more thing, I want to touch up on the thing about fraud protection. Check your card company. See if you can turn fraud protection on. This is perfect. So if you make a purchase over a certain amount, it will be rejected or pending, and you'll get a text and be like, was this you? And if you say yes, it'll either process or tell them, wait about 30 seconds and rerun the process. That's also a good thing to have. So now we're going to get into this issue here. This happened, I forget what year I went to Katsu, but I had gone to some panels and came back and found out that they had to come in fresh sheets and all this other stuff, and I was just like, oh, Okay. So yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's more and more prevalent through the US, specifically in certain areas where there's a large conglomeration of people. And it doesn't even mean that you're a dirty person or the area is
Mm,
dirty. Any place can have these. Even the Ritz-Carlton Hotel has had bed bugs from time to time. It's just a matter of people on top of other people on top of other people,
mm,
that it just over time when you travel, they stick on your clothes, on your luggage, in your laundry, anywhere, and they travel with you, and that's just
mm.
part of the experience. You can consider them a free add-on. I'm kidding, I'm
Mm.
joking, by the way. I'm trying to bring a little bit of levity, because these are absolutely a nightmare to deal with. I've had them over a decade ago, and they were like, it was bad.
Yeah.
I still have a reaction to them. I still haven't gotten over it. And it's like friends just confirmed that I have bedbug bites. So if you're staying at the Cortland Yard Marriott in LA live, just be warned. I got these bites from the hotel itself and have not gotten any more since leaving. I'm gonna go yeet myself off a cliff. They're joking,
Mm.
obviously, to preface that, because bed bugs are have a lot of stigma and like are
Right.
just generally just nasty. Yeah, and
If you
someone can tell me.
smell if you smell a pungent fruit punch smell, yeah, that's bed bugs. Call somebody.
Yeah, it's either like a fruit punchy kind of saccharine smell or like blood, like rust. And if you haven't hurt yourself recently where you have an abrasion that's bleeding. If there's a heavy rust smell, then it means yeah. There's stuff like diatomaceous earth and things of that nature, but honestly, at the end of the day, if you do not treat, if your apartment complex doesn't treat the whole building and fumigate, um, I'll let you choose your own adventure there.
Yep.
It is very stressful and panicky, and it's just not a good time. I had to gas all of my belongings, basically take all the oxygen out of everything and clean everything. And I have been clean for many years now. Like I've never
Same.
had any problems with them anymore, but
Same.
they are hard to get rid of notoriously, and they are very, very hardy. So just be aware. When it comes to going to conventions, um, I would say if you come home, make sure to treat everything. There are mattress bags that you can set your stuff outside inside of with a basically a little capsule that you open up and you sit there for like a week or so. If you're worried about your clothing that you wore, you can always throw it in the dryer for a while. Usually about 40 minutes is the sweet spot. You want it to reach over 120 degrees. Steam also kills them. So if you want to steam things, just be aware that if you have a stain or anything in your garment, it will likely set into the garment because you're treating it with heat. So if you're worried about that stuff, try and spot treat it in a safe space and then take it in to be treated. And in general, just be aware. And I mean, even for me, I think I have a lot of friends who
Hmm.
look at me kind of weird when I come to conventions, but I think most of them are really thankful because I actually do a mattress check before I even bring my
See,
suitcases in.
that should
Um,
that should be more of a normal thing because the
yeah,
sad part is this is starting to become like a common thing. This is why
no, it is.
sometimes it's not a good thing to stay at the cheap hotels or stuff like that because even the hotels that are like yeah, this can happen at any hotel, but generally the hotels that are more fancier, they'll put more time and cleaning, and if something should happen, they will have a plan in motion to take care of it, as opposed to a local motel like, well, not our problem, not until you leave.
Yeah, no, and sometimes they'll actually blame you for
Yep.
bringing them in because I think there was a situation where either I noticed something in a room or there was something where like I picked up something and I took it to the front desk and I was like, this looks like something that I have experienced before. I don't feel comfortable staying in this space.
Right.
And so I ended up having to like bag up those clothes that I wore and like in general be extra vigilant because they were like, "Oh, we can move your room or we
That
can
doesn't
treat
help.
these
No.
sheets." And it's like, no, I'm good. I think I'm just gonna move hotels if that's
Mm,
all right with you. And
right.
they're like, "Nah, that's all we can kind of do." And they just kind of brush it off. And I'm just kind of like, you literally have an infestation of bloodsuckers that a lot of people are allergic to, and like you don't, there's no like recompense. You don't want to get like either they'll do that or they'll just be like, "Oh, do you want a refund?" Like
Because I would say they
we're just
act
gonna sell the room,
now.
so we don't care.
I would say the reason why they would say that is because maybe somebody has tried to scam them multiple times. They're like, oh no, we're not going through
Yeah.
this again. Which I understand.
Yeah, and I can understand that aspect of it, but literally if I mean like I don't know. I just It's gross.
No, I totally get that. So let's see. Let's move along here. We're making some decent progress. We're gonna talk about autograph ticket issues. Now, I remember the one year I went to Anime Matsuri. I wanted autograph for the voice actor or Edward Elric, who is also the voice of Tamari Romi Paku. I remember basically power walking to make sure I got the first ticket. What a lot of conventions will do, they will have like a place where you can go and get a ticket for an autograph. It could be for that whole weekend or that day. And then when you go, when the time is there, as long as you have that ticket, you're guaranteed an autograph. Some conventions will be like, line up a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes before the event, and we'll hand out a ticket. If we're out of tickets, that's it. We cannot guarantee if you're going to get another one, if you're going to get one. Now, a friend of mine who went to AX, he goes every year, tells me there were horror stories on the autograph line. There were people there basically holding spots for other people, and there were people online for autographs for over 12 hours. I once waited for over 3 hours to get Trigger's autographs. Much as I appreciated that, I'm not doing that again. That morning, the line went from like, I say 100 people to like 200 people, because so many people jumped in towards the front because they had friends on the line. I have been told there was somebody there who was holding spots for 16 people and threatened people with a gun. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Yes.
I kind of also heard that they were low staff. Like they didn't have as many staff as they expected. So
But
like
but here's the thing.
yeah.
I understand conventions have low staff, but when it comes to autograph stuff like that, you got to reallocate your resources. You got to have somebody like go out there on the line like every hour or so or something like that. I mean, look, when I went to get my Xbox Series X, do you know how many Best Buy employees was outside corralling the line? Less than 10 people. There was somebody there taking names, and then it came back around, saw that you were on the list, you were given a voucher. As long as you had that voucher, you were golden. At least there is that. And somebody was making suggestions on how to make the whole autograph line a lot easier. Like, cap the number of tickets sold. Have people get them online. Get security. And someone suggested premier badges. Like, if I get a VIP badge for a con and I pay $20 more, that should entitle me to maybe 2 free tickets for 2 separate autographs. Or what some conventions are doing now, you just order the autograph online and then you show the proof in the email, you get on the line to get your autograph,
Yeah, a lot of conventions are doing that to cut down on lines, and I think that is an amazing idea.
Yes. And if you show up too late, it is what it is. Hell, there are some conventions that are still doing quote-unquote online ticket sales. Like, let's say the cap is done for the low price of the con ticket, like for $50. You can go to the con and get on the line and fill out your form online and have someone scan your QR code. Or you could do it from home, get on the line and show your paper and they scan the QR code. That's also a good thing to do as well.
Yeah, I mean, maid cafes have been doing it since I think like soon after maid cafes got popular in the States at conventions. And literally, once tickets get released, they sell out online. And like a lot of them now, you have to be watching it because they are just so popular now that people will just buy their tickets early. But it does. I mean, there's still the issues with people lining up ahead and like not knowing that at the door you can't buy tickets. But at the same time, it does help cut down on the needs, the staffing needs, the requirements for like being vigilant about ticket sales or even just selling tickets is another set of resources entirely. So if you have a way to set it up online so it can be done beforehand, that'll cut down on a lot of problems.
The only downside of buying tickets online is like the fees for credit cards, which is understandable.
Yeah, the fees for credit cards, the fact that you need a credit card, and two, for people who don't have regular access to the internet to be able to print it off and stuff like that. I mean,
But at
a
least
printer is a privilege, internet's a privilege,
yeah.
blah,
Oh,
blah,
I
blah.
yeah. It's getting to the point where the internet is not even a privilege; it's becoming a right, and I'm perfectly okay.
No, it
with
should
that.
be a right. I mean, there should be
it
at
should
least
be.
basic access, considering like job applicant. Anyway, we can go into that.
The internet service that I pay for? That's a privilege.
Yeah.
Getting something that's like a 1010 connection should be a basic right for everybody. So
Yep.
that's what's happening. And we're hoping AX will listen, but given how AX was, as long as they get their money, they don't care. Sounds just like Repop. Yeah, that's right. I said it, and you know where to drop those emails. And now we're gonna move
And
along.
Wizards too, I would say.
Wizard, they're done. That's all Fan Expo now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So we're gonna move on to our next topic, about crowd issues. Again, this is a reason why I would never go to AX. I have seen pictures of the crowds over the years. And the main reason why I don't go to New York Comic Con is because of these crowds. Because if someone hits my camera, I'm going to throw hands.
Yeah. From what I have been seeing, they basically Anime Expo announced that they sold out.
Uh-huh.
They sold every ticket available to go into the convention center. And everybody is saying that they should have capped it earlier than that. So there are videos circling online about the crowding just on July 1st. And eyewitness accounts basically say that those videos don't do it justice. This particular person writing this article stated that on the first day, it felt that there was no air conditioning whatsoever, especially unpleasantly felt in the artist's alley, which took place in the basement of the event space. Anime Expo attempted to handle overcrowding by closing off a major street next to the Los Angeles Convention Center to allow people more space to walk while trying to control the flow of entrants. However, many in attendance wondered whether the venue should have capped ticket sales to avoid the problem entirely. Some attendees waiting for the expo to open at 9 a.m. on its final day were basically waiting in long lines in 80-degree heat. Basically, a lot of people were saying that they couldn't move, that they felt that, especially around the corridors, that it was bottlenecked in areas, in and out of main halls. No airflow in the basement where Artist Alley was, so it was very stuffy. And then there are parts of it that you couldn't even walk the convention floor without feeling like you were being suffocated or crowded out.
Now,
So going into some of the stuff that I've been reading, a lot of this depends on what area you were in. So some people had no issues with crowding at all, saying that they were in the convention center within an hour, where some people were saying that they were waiting online for closer to 4 to 6 hours to get in. And again, it all depends on what entrance you got to, because some entrances had security that were rigorously checking to make sure that you weren't bringing things in, and some entrances had almost no security. So you could just walk in and people weren't caring whatsoever.
Yep.
So they were saying that every day lines seem to get worse, and lines are getting worse year after year. So they are not at all doing what they should between each convention to make sure that the lines are not crazy, to make sure that nobody is going crazy with the crowding. And they're basically saying that, if there had been an emergency, they would have been screwed. because of how much crowding it was.
And even if it wasn't even that crowded, it's an emergency. You have entitled fans that are not going to move out of the way. I've seen pictures from AX where it doesn't look all that crowded, but this is not like in main areas. There are pockets of that convention center where it's not as chaotic, but still, it's sort of like you spend 2 hours to get in, and then it like opens up so you can do everything. It kind of feels that way, but in reality, it really isn't.
Some of the doors to the convention center were completely shut, and they actually, the fire marshal actually completely closed down people being able to enter into the building at one point. Because, obviously, if you have to have a fire marshal shut things down because there are too many people, you have sold too many tickets.
I look at it this way. I don't know AX numbers, but if a 4-day badge is going to run me $100 and I'm getting bounced all around like a god dang pinball, I'm not going to be happy about that. Now, if I pay $120 for my badge, knowing when I go, it'll be crowded, but not balls to the wall crowded. I'll have some type of breathing space of like 6 inches. For me, that's not so bad.
According to the numbers, they had 160,000 unique entrances.
Yeah, they need to cap
85,000 turnstile.
Yeah, they need to cap that at 100,000. They really need to cap it at that.
They need to go back to and this is the numbers before the pandemic were 115,000, and they still had issues with lines at that point. It was online for 2020 and 2021. And 2022, they don't have numbers listed, which surprising to me because every other year they have numbers listed. So, and it's happening at the exact same convention center next year. They've already announced the dates and everything like that. They need to fix this, whether or not it's having better lines, having more staff, or not selling as many freaking tickets. But you figure when you're already having issues at 115,000 and do absolutely nothing except sell more tickets, you are to blame. This is
literally.
Yep.
Literally. This is what happened with Katsucon as well. This year.
Just
Katsucon ran out of tickets for this year so much that they ended up starting to sell tickets from 2022.
Wait. All right. Wait. We're gonna put a kibosh on that, and I if you can, Barry, I'd like for you to come back on next week's show because there's some stuff about Katsucon I want to discuss, and I want to bring that up.
No, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I'll put you. I'll write you in. I'll write you in myself.
Appreciate that.
I just have to make sure that my chat isn't like trying to eat paint chips or like soap lotion. They're weird. I love them. Anyway, I have to protect them from themselves sometimes. Anyway,
Gotcha.
with the Anime Expo, literally the only solution is for them not to sell more, for them to cap the attendance like Dragon Con and only sell that amount of tickets. But because they are industry oriented, capitalism, baby,
right.
It is, they're going to sell tickets until people basically boycott them.
Right.
So,
and again, you can't boycott or can't. All right. So now we're going to move into something else. That's another terrible thing that happens. This happened at a friend of mine at a convention years ago, but she is okay. I can tell you that right now. It seems that at AX, some people were roofied at a local event. What the shit? Man. I mean, if it was at a bar, at least whoever the bartenders can see what's going on and be like, nah, you're not going to play that. This is The most important thing you need to understand is that if you don't know where your drink came from, don't drink it. Simple as that. And this is something that a lot of people will tell you. If you put your drink down, get a new drink, because you don't know, someone may have spiked it or put something in it. Some people will say, well, maybe they didn't eat enough. Well, there's a difference between feeling sick from drinking, from not eating, as opposed to like blacking out after one drink and waking up the next day or something like that, you know? If you have to step away for any reason, have a friend keep an eye on your drink or something like that, okay? And also, just because you're at a 21 plus event, that does not mean you have to drink. A lot of these events do have mocktails. Ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? When we room together, yes, I bring alcohol. Does everybody in my room drink the alcohol? No. Am I insulted by that? Absolutely not. That's it. Just be careful. Between the three of us, we have years of experience and so forth. What we're telling you, like I said, when we end the show, what's up and what's not, we mean this. And that's all it is. And as Bond 006 says, there it is. You don't have to drink. That's it. Now, before we continue, Mako, are you feeling good or do you want to punch out?
Yeah, I think I'm, because it's getting close.
Yeah,
to
that's
being-
what I'm saying, yeah.
I did want to just add one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Los Angeles Convention Center,
Mm-hmm.
from what I am reading, the entire convention center is a very large and spacious event place, and it can hold up to 10,000 people at a time. That's it. 10,000 people. And you tried to stuff 160,000 people in there. That is illegal. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think more people need to start if this happens at 2024. I think more people need to call the fire department and shut the con down. F that.
Yep, that's the only way they'll learn. That's the problem, is that a lot of these bigger industry-driven conventions, even smaller fan conventions, are like big fan conventions. Sorry, I call them small conventions because they're usually indie or fan run.
Right.
But even some of these fan run conventions, like, you literally can't stuff. I mean, not only dealing with the ramifications of the building laws, but also for people with disabilities, people with chronic illness, and just in general being like anti-disability. That, like, yeah, someone with a wheelchair is not going to be able to get through that. They'll probably get hurt or crushed. Like, someone dealing with mobility issues is not going to be able to get through that. Like, just making yourself more accessible and more friendly. Like,
Yes.
I just get so frustrated.
No, and you're right, and you're absolutely right.
Okay, that is me out. Have a good night.
All right, you take care,
Bye-bye.
Mako. All right, just give me a second here. I'm currently making an update to our layout so that Barry can join us and it'll have the proper name and everything. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
No, you're welcome. The funny thing is, I thought I had made this already, but evidently I did not. So we'll go into 2-play mode. Yes, it still says Mako, but I'm going to change that right now.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the Mako now.
You're terrible. All right, there we go. Forget to tell it to maximize the compatibility so that the file will actually show up. All right, there we go.
Mako like a shark.
There we go.
Anyway, I'll stop.
Heyo. You're terrible. You know that.
I'm terrible. All right.
There we go. Magic. All right. I believe the next story is still yours. Yeah. And I know this is something that kind of worries you when you're at cons as well.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yep. I've been featured at cons as a guest. I've been a judge at conventions. I've vended there. I've been
Mm,
an artist's alley friend. I've helped out other friends who are vendors. So I've been on pretty much every facet of convention going life. I've probably been there, volunteered for it, or and interacted with it in some way. Um, so apparently there were thefts of the vendors exhibit hall before the con even opened the vendors hall. So unfortunately that means it was like an inside job or a convention inside job, like either
mm,
through the convention center or the convention itself. Allegedly, I'm saying allegedly because obviously we don't have full court cases to prove this stuff, but there have been repeat offenses of situations like this happening. And apparently any comment about a supposed theft that happened in the exhibit hall before the exhibitors arrived this morning, AX responded by thanks for letting us know. Please let us know the exhibitors' booths numbers that were impacted. And then people were asking questions about it. Apparently, both small and big booths were affected.
oof.
And honestly, this is not a surprise to me because I've seen this happen at other conventions, smaller
Mm,
conventions, non industry conventions. But at the same time, for me, an industry convention, especially because they have industry members in the exhibitors hall, I would say I would want to protect that more because that would be an investment in my relationship with that business. But that's just me.
well, you're right. I mean, like, honestly, I have seen, most conventions, the dealer's hall is like in this large room, and then once everybody's done, complete lockup. I've seen at the Javits, they cordon off the area, but there are guards there watching everything, and sheets are covered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, to lay it out for you guys, if you've never been a vendor, if you've never been to a convention, you've never the max amount of security a convention will have for exhibitors that some have everything from thousands of dollars to hundreds to millions of dollars of industry stuff in
Mm-hmm.
these spaces is literally put a blanket over it, put a little gate around it, and then maybe some security guards.
Yep. That's what you do.
And this doesn't have anything to do with any of their staff that might have bad intentions, or the staff of the convention center might have bad intentions, or if there's a ring of family or relationships outside of that that have connections inside to get information on stuff that looks like it's worth money. Like legitimately, that is the amount of security that they give to these people that they want to have these
Mm-hmm.
relationships with.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it's plausible success. Everything spoken in this stream, it comes down to money, and I
It
understand it.
does.
It does. Like, even when it comes to my personal money and things I want to buy, it's like, do I really want to spend this money now? Because I got to take care of it down the line. Do I want to do a little bit at a time? I'm just saying, with all the money that AX is getting and the sponsorship, there's gotta be money in the freaking coffers for them to be like, all right, we can have like a several security guards watching this. It's absolutely nuts, I tell you. Knucking
Yeah.
futs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty bad.
All right, we're gonna move into our next story here. Um, about the lack of parking.
Yeah. Yep, it is pretty damn bad. It's PDB, as I like to call it, PDB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, parking does not only affect some of the smaller conventions, but also the big ones too. Apologies, gang. I believe Damon Mills said, due to the inability to get into the venue, I have canceled my signing today, and all remaining signings will remain unchanged. I'm sure that was totally prevalent on if he could get parking or not.
Right.
Sorry, gang. It's been impossible to get parking at AX. I may be late for my first signing block, was their message from the day before. And it basically, or earlier in the day. And it said,
Mm-hmm.
wow, honestly, I thought you would get special parking since you're a guest there. Sorry to hear that. Having been a guest at an event before, even presenting for some of their events stuff before, they do not always guarantee parking or special treatment for their guests of certain tiers. And it does kind of suck to hear that, especially if you're putting on events for them or you're making content for them. It's just the amount of effort that they're willing to put forth because they know, especially as smaller creators or smaller creatives, or if you don't even have a management company, that no one's going to be there to fight for you and for things that should just be basic knowledge. If you want to have people to create content, if you want to have guests come to your event, create a space and an ease of access for them to do so. If you are not, then that just shows a lack of care and a lack of respect. And it says there's just a lot of people, humming and hawing and reminiscing and going, "Oh, I'm so sorry," sympathizing. "I'm so sorry it happened to you. Parking can be a menace. What I do when it's parking is I use my left or right signal on my vehicle. Don't let it ruin your day. Have a blast and stay awesome." I'm sorry, what? Turning on a turn signal does not a parking situation
No.
solve.
Now,
Sorry,
now,
Damon. Things are looking good. Yeah.
now, here's my thing. I fully believe if you are vendor, press, or guest, there should be if you're a guest, there should always have a room for you. There should be a parking spot for you. That should be part of the package. I'm sorry, that's the way it should be. And there should be some way to get you into the parking lot. There should be just for guests, vendors, and staff and so forth. I'm also a firm believer of if you are a vendor, artist alley seller, media, volunteer, anything along those lines, and you're driving, you should be in a special section to park. I also feel that you should be able to book a room outside, kind of outside of the whole rush.
System. Like the lottery systems, kind of like MagFest, where they do it like your hotel is completely tied to the fact if you've bought a ticket to the event or not. No, I completely
No.
totally
What
agree.
I'm saying is not a lottery system, but when it comes to that, you should be able to jump the line. Like if the line opens up for hotels, let's say at 6 p.m. From 3 until 6, if you're in this group, you should be able to go in and pick a location and that's it.
Maybe not lottery system. Maybe it's more of like a claiming system.
Yes.
Like they lock you out if you have not bought a ticket to the convention. You can't get a hotel room.
But the downside is the dates and so forth.
Yeah.
I know when it comes to artist alley and vendors, those applications goes in first, and they should be able to pick their hotel rooms or whatever. Did I know? Then they open up the rooms for everybody, and press is usually the last 3 or 4 months for everyone else. But I'm just saying, if a con gets 10 press outlets, they should be able to hold 5 doubles and 5 singles, or 3 doubles, 3 singles, 2 penthouse, or whatever, something like that. There's a secure block, and it falls under first come, first serve,
Yeah, well, and also dealing with this in particular, the parking issue, I think the biggest thing for me is if you desire that they are to pay for the parking, give them a guaranteed parking location and just charge them for it.
Yeah.
Just put it in the deal that you make up for them coming as a guest, or if it's part of the badge, or if it's part of the vendor's deal, whatever it is, and make sure that they have a place to park.
Right.
Make it so that they can feel secure, they can feel appreciated, and they can feel respected. If you don't do those basic things, then why is anybody gonna want to show up to your event if you're like, "Oh, you can come. Yeah, you can come and bring all the food. You can come and bring all this stuff to show off at the event, and then, oh, but I need to park. I need to lay out all my things. I want to make sure things are secure. Oh, well, you know what? You don't need to park or anything. Just leave it." What the heck? How does that make sense? Anyway.
Yep. Exactly.
But yeah.
All right. Now we're also getting to our last story now. Before we continue, Barry, did you want to do Meanwhile in Japan, or do you want to kind of wrap up the show after the last story?
We could do 1 or 2 Meanwhile in Japan just to give it a clean bow.
Okay, perfect. All right. So looks like this is the year of isekais, okay? Early 2010s, it was the big thing was idol anime. And I think and then it was no. First there was a big genre of magical girl anime. Then Kill la Kill rolls through and says, "I don't think so." And it became the shonen badass anime because people got tired of the moe. Then idol, and now isekai. Isekai is basically the main character or characters end up in an alternate dimension throughout the series. And we have what's called Suicide Squad Isekai. And that's what they're calling it. They're not beating around the bush with this one. and I'm looking forward to it. And I actually like this new design of Harley Quinn. And someone actually said she looks like a cross of two other main characters. I'm like, I'm okay with it. I mean, look, Batman Ninja was amazing, and that was an isekai. They put in Super Sentai elements in that one, and that was from David Production, the people behind JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I may have to grab that and rewatch that. So the story, basically what Warner Brothers is saying is, DC's Harley Quinn, the Joker, and the Suicide Squad rampage onto the stage of isekai in the new original anime series from Warner Brothers Japan and Wit Studio. Suicide Squad Isekai. The most maddening worlds collide in an epic violent fantasy with the strongest lineup of anime creators. Eddie Osada, who worked on Jujutsu Kaisen and Gintama, is directing the series at Wit Studio. Tappei Nagasuki, who wrote the light novels for ReZero and VV Prototype, is writing the scripts along with Eiji Umehara, who worked on VV Prototype. Manga artist Akira Amano, who worked on Eat Alive, Reborn, Run Kamonohashi, Deranged Detective, who drew the announcement art featuring Harley Quinn, is drafting the original characters, and Naoto Hosoda, who worked on Siren, Digimon the Movie, is designing the characters. Kenshiro Sudehiro is composing the music. He has worked on ReZero, Golden Kamui, and Undead Unluck. Shinya Soroka is serving as animation producer from Warner Brothers Japan. Wit Studio is known for its production of anime series such as Attack on Titan, The Ancient Magus Bride, Ranking of Kings, Spy Family, and the upcoming Spy Family Code White feature film. You know what I would like to see, but licensing on this may be a little bit difficult. Like, I don't know if you remember, there was a game called Tatsunoko vs. Capcom where it had all these Tatsunoko characters fighting Capcom characters. The issue was, in the States, a lot of the different Tatsunoko characters were licensed was held by different companies. So Capcom had to jump around and get the rights to certain characters. Certain characters couldn't be in it, so they had to replace with something else. So I'm hoping that maybe Warner Brothers Japan, looking at the animes that they're working on or they get licensed to, I would like to see like Suicide Squad just fighting in different anime worlds and stuff. That would be interesting. And given how the licensing, where the bulk of it could be under Crunchyroll or Netflix, at least we know where it's going. So, and as Bonzo06 says, let's not forget this is not WB's first time lending out their IP to Asian production studios. They did that with the Animatrix. Yes, they had people, there were different studios doing the Animatrix, which I thought was really good. I had the DVD copy sitting somewhere on my shelves back there. And now, we're down to the part of the show that y'all really enjoy more than anything else. Meanwhile, in Japan, we did have 4 stories we were going to discuss, but we're dropping it down to 2. Mostly because it's starting to get late, and my place is starting to bake like an oven. Oh, man. The volume down. This?
Oh, yep. I definitely understand. I want to choose the third one because I think it would be so refreshing.
Oh yeah, you could definitely do that. I will take the second one. So what we're going to talk about is a life insurance company develops a dating sim. I'm picturing the cast from the Progressive insurance commercials in a dating sim.
I would play out. I would stream that. 10 out of 10. Flo, hello girl, what's up?
Did you ever stream the I Love You Colonel Sanders dating sim?
I did Colonel Sanders, and I've done Hatoful Boyfriend as well. I might revisit them though, because they're just so fun to play.
Okay, that's more than fair. So basically, a Japanese life insurance company develops a dating sim where you're not supposed to get insurance. It's supposed to make sense. There are many young adults in Japan that don't understand life insurance options or have a negative view of them, but one company is aiming to change that with what the people want. Hot dating sims with sexy voices. Last month, Japan's Mitsui Sumitomo Aoi Life Insurance Company released a dating sim called Watashi wa Hoken ni Haranai. I will not get insurance. In the game, your new love interest tries to convince you to purchase different insurance plans, but as the title says, the main goal is not to get insurance, it's to resist it. Which does sound counterproductive. But as your relationship with the main love interest grows deeper, you'll learn more about the different types of life insurance and their features. So the more you resist, the more knowledge you gain. It's sort of like when you go to buy something in a store and you're just like, I don't know if I want that. And the salesman tells you about the features in this and the difference in the models and so forth. And this dating sim also has pop quizzes to make sure that you're actually reading and learning about different types of life insurance. You'll also be treated to the sultry voice of Tomokazu Sugira, a voice actor with a nobly deep voice. You may recognize him as Joseph Joestar and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and Kyon and the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and Gintoki Sakata and Gintama. If you make it to the end of the game without purchasing life insurance, you'll be treated to some saucy visuals and ultra sexy voice clips. So if you're a fan, resist the urge even if your life depends on it. The dating sim is available on smartphone, PC, and on Mitsui Sumitomo Aoi's life insurance company's Line account. But just be aware it's only available in Japanese for now. If that's not an issue, though, it may just be an inspiration for you to get life insurance that you'll need before playing a dating sim such as Doki Doki Literature Club. For that, you need emotional life insurance. There's no price you could put on for emotions. I think they're really targeted that game towards females. Maybe.
If not, I think it there's two wolves inside of me. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of smart though, because it's another way to access the younger generation in a way, and I feel like a lot of younger generation really needs to learn about protecting themselves. Like in
Mm-hmm.
insurance. But I hope that it's a good game. I'm gonna actually keep an eye out for reviews of this,
And
to
maybe
be honest.
and maybe somebody will put out like a patch for an English translation patch.
That would be cool. That would be really neat.
Okay, and what is this other article you want to discuss there, Barry?
So, for those who are enjoying the summertime, and sorry, one of my friends in here is in my mom right now with me. Is a Hokkaido. We have a lurker who's
Mm.
in my party with me. But anyway,
Yep.
so Hokkaido farmers have developed a new fruit called the lemon melon, combining the best of both. Those who've tried to think it might be the perfect
Wait.
fruit for summer.
Stop. Wait.
What?
Stop. The lemon. No. I see what you did there. Sneaky, sneaky.
Right? I was like the melon story. How can I not?
Oh.
Okay.
Ho, ho.
Especially Hokkaido, because Hokkaido is known for their ball ass fruit. Like they are known for kicking ass when it comes to growing fruit. So you probably heard about Japan's wild food market, where a single bunch of grapes can net over 10,000 yen or $69. Nice. But those prices are not for any fruit. They're for luxury Japanese fruit. And it's been carefully hand raised and specialty bred to not only thrive in the Japanese environment, but also be a very delicious um, experience in both taste and texture. So when we heard that Hokkaido farmers have been producing an entirely new fruit that is round, juicy, and sweet like a melon, but slightly sour like a lemon, we couldn't help but tell how our mouths watered. The new fruit is fittingly called the lemon melon and is currently being cultivated in limited quantities by 5 farmers in the city of Furano, Hokkaido. While it is the same shape as a watermelon, the rind lacks the familiar shapes and the inside is white. Suntory Flowers, the Japanese horticulture company that developed the lemon melon, said they bred it from a type of melon that originally was imported from overseas, which they have been working to improve over the last 5 years. The current product, which is blended with lemons, is the result of countless experiments on cultivation methods and harvest times, and this is the first year that they are able to sell them. At
Nice.
one supermarket, lemon melons were selling for about 3,218 yen. And if you think about it that way, that's 3 times 69. Nice. Yeah, I'm not quite sure the conversion rate right now, but it's got to be pretty expensive,
Um,
basically.
one thing about my web browser, sometimes if I highlight it with whatever the value is, it'll tell me. But this time
Oh, it
it did
will?
not.
Mm.
I'm just gonna do a quick search. So 3,218 yen translates to $23.05.
Oh, okay, only $23. Okay, that's okay. So then the other one is it 10,000? Yeah, 3,000. Okay, see, I added an extra zero in my brain. So yeah, okay. In the video above, those were able to try some samples said it's really refreshing. I like it. It has a good balance of sweet and sour. It would be the perfect fruit for a hot day. It has a faint sourness like a lemon, but the strong sweetness of a melon. It's delicious. Apparently, the texture of the lemon melon starts out crisp like a pear, but as the fruit ripens, it gets much softer. And like the Hokkaido grown Yabari melons, though so there are several ways to enjoy it. So apparently, you can enjoy it raw, like more under ripened and ripe. So that's pretty good. This year, producers are expecting to cultivate about 3,800 of them, which will be sold in Sapporo supermarkets through the end of August, and they're hoping they'll become a new addition to Japan's luxury fruit market. If you'd love to try expensive fruits like this specialty melon, you can definitely also check out things like specialty bred pears and fancy cherries. So,
Two things. Number one, I cannot wait to go to Japan just to try regular food and different over there, like the
oh yeah.
McDonald's, the burger, ramen. I'm looking forward to the taste and the texture, and also because it's the summer, I tend to keep my fridge full of fruit. So I will be doing some grocery shopping come this week. I look forward to have a fridge full of peaches and pears and apricots, nectarines and grapes.
Hmm.
I mean, granted, you can get grapes all year round, but it would be nice if you can get something else all year round too.
And I will say, having had an expensive Japanese mango by American standards, it was a $6 mango.
Mm.
It was really good. They're really juicy. The fruit over there is really nice. I wasn't able to get any gift fruit or luxury fruit, but it was very enjoyable. And very juicy. I will say, like the way that they present their fruit and everything, it's the very much you eat with your eyes, not your hands. But you do also. Anyway.
I totally get
Yeah,
it.
it looks really, really good and delicious. And I hope in the future I get to try some of the luxury fruit. But for now, I will have to be content with from afar. Sad.
Speaking of contending, I think it's time for everyone to contend that we've come to the end of the show, and I think we have actually gone 2 hours. Well, almost 2 hours. It's a record.
Woof. Oh my gosh.
So before I run the credits, I want to thank Mako for staying as late as she could. And I also want to thank
Hmm.
Barry for staying late as they could as well. I really appreciate that. And
No problem.
and I'm glad, I appreciate you coming on next week so we can talk a little bit more about Katsucon.
Yep.
So that's going to
Yep.
be, yeah. All right. It's time for us to roll ye old end credits.
Autobots roll out.
If you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're straight up telling you. So if you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And don't forget to check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you'll find our weekly podcast. Cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, anime reviews, editorials, links to our YouTube page of convention coverage, links to our Facebook fan page of cosplay coverage, all that and so much more at animejamsession.com. And don't forget to check out our podcast on your iPhone and Android device. You can find us through Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio. I'd say Stitcher, but I believe Stitcher is shutting down. and Apple Podcasts. So search Anime Jam Session. Over 500 episodes. Check them out. Leave a review if you can. We greatly appreciate that as well. See what else is on this list here. Our social media, Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Follow us on those so you know when we're going live, when articles are going up, when videos are available, and then some. And for all of you who follow us on those, thank you so much. We couldn't do this without y'all. And now we're going to go to our tip jar. If you're watching live, there's a link to our stream elements and our Ko-Fi. If you click on it, you can throw dollars towards the show if you like what we do. We really appreciate that. You can also cheer us on with bits. We love that too. And you can also subscribe to the channel and give out gift subs. We appreciate all of that and then some, because we couldn't do the show without y'all. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Barry.
Well, I appreciate having walked amongst you mortals once again. I will be returning to the Land of Dreams, and I hope that you guys get some rest too. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next week.
My last few words is my voice is getting a little dry, so I'm going to take some cough drops. I'm going to relax, edit the show, watch a little anime, and go to bed. By the way, Sonic Prime is really good. I believe this could be this generation's Saturday morning Sonic. That is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. The whole cast will be here. Will you be here? I hope you are. Thank you so much for participating with us. We will see you next week. I'm Ranma.
I'm Barry Melon.
Great fight. Great night. See you next week.
And have a really good one.
Yep. Say goodnight, Barry.
Good night, Barry.
Perfect. Awesome. We're out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!